Half a again, and hello, it's Fo, and welcome back to our playthrough of City Skylines. Last time we made it through a big town. This time we're going to try and push all the way through to the next milestone. We're going to try and pop in a lot of the buildings that we haven't previously got into the city. We're going to try and pop in our campus area. Like I said previously, I haven't used the campus DLC before, so I'm not quite sure how much space we're going to need. Let's try and maybe pop it in down next to the industrial zones. First thing we'll need to do is extend out the road network. I think if we take our large road out, continue it from here, then we can try and encompass this block. It's hard to tell with the trees, but we have got the right line up here. Try and get this lined up with the other road we've got. Seems good. Then we can do the same around the top. Get this connected to the existing roads. Can even get medium roads and encompass our train track. I think it was 12,000 population we need to start popping in our train stations and our cargo stations. I'm going to delete this extra wind turbine because I feel it's just sort of in the way. See if we can use this space for something else, like a ferry depot. This is where our ferries come from. If we get this popped in here, then we can put in a ferry pier or a ferry stop. We'll start off with a ferry pier. See if we can get this popped in. I would like its road to run parallel to this small road, but I would like it to join also with the medium road, so we'll go in here, do a little bit of terraforming. It's pretty close, as close as I'm going to get it. So we'll get this popped in. We can connect up our medium road. You can see that the depot is higher up on the hill. So we'll connect two separate roads rather than trying to connect those two roads together. That'd be very steep. If we get this sort of aligned at the top of the hill, we can connect our small road down from the ferry pier to connect up with our housing over here. Looking good. Along here we can use some of our parks. We've got some parks that are specifically for the riverside. If we can get them aligned up with the road, or as close as possible, we could pop a few in. This last one's a marina. No, it's not close enough to the road, so we try and jiggle things around. If we pop it over here, we might be able to take a pathway from the end of the road. See if that's enough of a connection for it. So we've got our pathway running underneath the bridge here. It doesn't seem to be enough of a connection for it, so we'll move things around again so we can get this to touch the end of the road. That seems to satisfy it. I'm going to relocate our fire station over here so we can extend our roads out. I'm going to take up a medium road from the middle here and try and make a little square. Extend these small roads out and over. See if we can pop in a park or two to help baffle the noise from the industrial area. Don't think we necessarily need two. That big one's maybe a little too big. Connect up this medium roads. Hopefully this should be enough for our campus area. We'll see how we fit the buildings in. Look at a little pathway to connect up here. So this is where we can paint in our areas. The campus area is the one that we want. See if we can get this area filled in. Once we've put in the main building, then we'll be able to put in all the subsequent smaller buildings. It's in our education menu. At the top here we've got trade school. Here it gives us a pop-up. So there are three different types of university that we can build. The first one is the trade school campus. We need the cash to build the main building, so we can start building the rest. Looks like we could use another power source. We've got the solar updraft tower unlocked to us. So we can maybe get some cash from the real money generator. If we pop down 3, that should give us loads of cash. Enough to build everything we need. Our university buildings. We could pop the power station in here, but I think we want to save this space for university stuff. If we pop it in the top, up in our corner of undesirables, it's going to provide us certainly with a lot of power. And its radius of noise isn't going to be too close to our housing. We'll take down the budget for the power. See how they get on. Now that we've got an extra power source. I'm going to pop in the main building for our university over here, out of the way of the road. And you can see our other buildings are now unlocked. We can pop in some dorms, get some housing for our university students. We can get 4 nice and neat in here if we place them right. That should hopefully be enough for all our resident students. I think there's something wrong with our power flow, perhaps. It seems to be temporary. We haven't got water down at the university area. We'll get that covered. Maybe put in a study hall. See if we can fit this right up against these buildings here next to our park and our fire station. We've also got groundskeeping. We can try pop that one in. That's quite small. It's easy to fit in. Book club, let's have a look at this. It's also quite small. See if we can pop this in. I think 1 of each or 2 of each perhaps. Can also put in the police academy when we get some cash. We'll let it run for a second. See where we can fit this building in if we can. It's pretty massive. I think we might have to use move it. We're going to move the main administration building slightly closer to the road so we can fit this big building in. Seem to be stricken with power issues. I think it's because our solar updraft tower doesn't have any water. Get the water pipes in. Hopefully get that covered. Then we should see our power jump up. Not quite by enough though. We can go into the economy, go into the budget, and turn things up again. Yeah, that seems to have done it. Get rid of these generators now that we've got loads and loads of cash. Get this popped in. So we can build a road along here. We'll use move it again to sort of tuck this even closer. So we can still get a road in here. Pop in just a little bit. So we've got a marker for the other side. Continue our medium roads up, get everything connected. We'll get a pathway in here. Get another medium road in to connect this up. We can check for any extra areas that we might want to work on. I think we might want a park, perhaps, around the hospital. So we'll paint in a park area, the same as we did with the university. Maybe we want to rename it to Hospital Park. And before we start building in the park items themselves, putting in the park gates, we might want to check if there are any other buildings that we want to put in this square. Since we've already got a couple of buildings in here, I think we could use another elder care, but it's maybe a little big to pop in here, and it's pretty close to the other one. This has a much better radius of effect away from the other one. Pop that in over here. We can finally afford the gym. That'll fit in here quite nicely. We can maybe pop the gym in over here. We've also unlocked the community pool. I think that's too many healthcare buildings over here, so we can pop this in next to the elder care. Again, that radius of effect, much better, keep everything covered. We've also got a medical laboratory, as well as doing the normal medical functions, can help fight viruses. I think in the current climate, that's going to be a great building for the city. We can start working on a cure for us. Power needs to jump across, so we'll pop in a few more things, I think. Could pop in a garbage incinerator. We need a police headquarters. Maybe pop that in next to our hospital. Something we hadn't built before, but we'd unlocked previously. We could put in a car park for our essential healthcare workers up here at the hospital. And get another one down here for our guys working on the cure. Around bigger things where you expect traffic, you want to pop in car parks if you've got them. Covfefe Museum here has zero noise pollution, so we can pop this in. This will help carry the power across. Pop it in next to the path rather than on the end of the road. Make it look as though the path was made around it. Yep, that's our power connected. So up in Hospital Park, we can have a look along in our parks menu. Along the top, we've got City Park, and that's the simplest type of park that we're going to use here for Hospital Park. You need to pop in the main gate once you've got the zone painted. So we'll get our main gate in here. There's just enough room to put fences around it and then go along the side of the hospital. We'll put a side gate in directly opposite. That way we can get a straight path across. Get our fences in. If we come up to the edge behind the buildings that we've got along there, and then along to the other gate. Then from the other side, we can take it along the edge of the hospital, take it all the way down, meet this road down here, and then we can take it along to our side gate. Then we can go into our paths, connect a path up between the two. And then from there, we can take paths off it, get the snapping on, get some nice straight lines in, take it up to the edge of where the fence is. You can do the pathways however you like. You can see I've gone wild here and put in one that isn't entirely square. Once you've got some pathways in, you can start popping in some items. Got a plaza. The plaza's quite big, so pop that in afterwards. Got a cafe here. Cafe's going to fit here perfectly, so we'll do two opposite each other. Then we've got restrooms. They're a bit smaller, so we can maybe pop them in a smaller space. We're just going to fill up the park with the items we've got. We've got a park info booth. It makes sense that that goes somewhere near the entrance. Get this popped in up here. Now we've got signs. Don't want to brush in at that size, just a single. I'm going to pop in a few signs on the corners of where things meet. Help direct visitors around. Pop in these food stalls. Maybe one of each up this path here. Nicer there, fantastic. So the plazas are a little bigger. There's a plaza for each type of park. Can maybe pop this in where these paths meet. Pop in a few of these little benches around the edges. Extra places for people to eat when they've been to these food vendors. Maybe do the same along the top. Get some bins in. I think with the higher level of decoration, the parks are more appealing, so they get more visitors. That helps them level up. As the parks level up, you unlock more and more items to pop in them, so you maybe want one or two of everything. The city park doesn't have a lot of different items, and the different items that you unlock aren't terribly massive, so you're alright with a city park to have maybe 2 or 3 of everything as you unlock it. I'll pop in a second copy of these sort of food vendors. Maybe get another restroom in the top here, in case people can't make it very far from the food vendors. Another one popped in here. Don't like the way when we've constructed the transport tower, it's adjusted the height of the land. No one could get up into that car park realistically. I'm going to use the Move It mod. The first tool in here, we've got aligned height and the more tools at the end. The one above it, we can immediately snap the object to the current terrain height. So we're going to do that, and that's going to bring down the level of the transport tower and make it look more natural. Looks like it fits the hill. We're going to do the same with our ferry depot, because that was a little high. Hopefully the road down to it now isn't too steep. I think it's maybe time that we can pop in some of our higher density stuff. But it looks like we've got a little bit of flooding along our river here. A bit of terraforming to build up the riverside, we'll fix that. I think that's maybe where we've lowered our depot for our ferries. And we start filling everything in with high density along the main roads. But leave the space that we've previously left intended for paths. This high density is going to hold a lot of people. It's going to help our population increase without us needing to go into a second square. So we'll get all this zoned in. Hopefully get people moving in straight away. Get this all filled up. Power availability, we've got way more power than we need, so I think we can turn the budget down a little bit. $1765, just to make sure we don't get any problems in the night. Wonder why. Still got need for residential and commercial, but things are filling in quite nicely. Maybe get a little more in. On this main road we can get more high density residential in. Just before we got the paths in, it certainly helps know where to run up to. Pop in this little bit here. I think up here it's obvious we could put in some high density commercial. Over here, I think the fire station that we've got, the little one, isn't enough. So I think we pop down a big one somewhere close by, and then we can move the little one. We spent all that cash that we had, so we'll pop down another real money generator. Get a little bit of cash for a few cycles. Get down the big fire station. Seems to be a lot better already in terms of coverage. Move the little one down into the industrial area. It's where they'll appreciate it the most. Paths while we're here, before this builds back in. There's a little path in between there and there. Come up to the roads of the paths here, since we've already got one that goes over the top. Fill this in, perhaps residential on one side and commercial on the other. Get this completely filled in with residential. The need is still going up. I'll try and get a path up to the road here on both sides. You can see it's not quite lined up. I'll have to zoom in because there's trees in our way. Get this lined up, popped in. Do the same on the other side. As you can see, there's loads of people using the path that we've previously put in that goes over the road. You see all the little people there going over the path, using it. People walking their dogs and stuff, people on bikes. That's what I like to see. Because there's a roundabout ahead, I'm going to leave a little bit of space so there's not too much noise from all the traffic going around the roundabout. Path here in the space that was left. We can fill this up with commercial because we don't want the noise of the park getting to the people over there, the residential areas. We get light commercial there. Go back to our heavier commercial buildings along this road and leave space for the paths. We can go back to residential down here. And come across the road and come all the way down here. I'll try to fit as many people in as possible into this one square, so plenty of high residential is what we need along these big roads. As always, we're going to leave a space for our paths going across and connecting the two sections. Same here, we'll leave a space. Get this all filled in. Hopefully this is going to meet our needs. We can go in while we're waiting for all those houses to build in the areas that we've zoned. Sort out some of the traffic lights. Created quite a few roads, so always have to remember to go back in, turn off the lights. Hopefully there'll be plenty of traffic coming up to this hospital park. Hopefully they're all going to use the car parks we've got there. Check back and see if there's cars in them. Yeah, there's always more traffic lights than you realise. For every 10 you think there are 20. That's them. So we'll work a little bit more on the university area as well. We can maybe add a few more of the little buildings that we have got. Maybe double up a couple of things down here. Don't have enough room up against the highway. Pop this in here if we can fit it. See if we can get another one opposite as well. Oh yeah, perfect fit. Love it. Seem to have other things that we can do as well. We've got varsity sports, so we can have a university sports team and their stadium. I think you could maybe have one stadium for each university or one stadium between them that they all come and face off at. First one's the aquatic centre. We need some more cash for that. Pour again, and it's absolutely massive. And we've made it to small city. We're finally a city. Thank goodness. All that time spent as a town, you know, we really just want to be Turbine City. So we've made it to that milestone. We've now got some more unique buildings unlocked to us. We certainly haven't used a lot of them. What, 2? We'll get there. We've got the train unlocked, that's the important thing. We can put in a train station and a cargo station. Monorail, never use. Cable cars, very rarely use. Got a few more policies if we ever get around to it. The main thing is that we've unlocked the train station and the cargo station. Hopefully next episode that's what we can get into. Until then, take it easy, stay safe, see you in the next one.